Welcome to my stories, and thank you for your patience. I know it's been a while since I made a video, and I'm glad you are still with me. Now without further wait, Sanctuary 10 Part 2.
Era exits the sanctuary and proceeded to the target, finding a 40-ish woman collapsed on the ground. Era carries the woman to the facility infirmary where the automated systems take over and start to assess the condition of the woman. According to Ali, she appears to be relatively unharmed, just malnourished and a little dehydrated. There are some scars on her body but nothing recent. Ali said they were most likely received over a 5-year period. 24 hours later and this woman is still not awake. From what I can tell, she has been on the road for a long time. The fact that her scars are likely no more than 5 to 6 years old seems to suggest that she received them after a relative period of safety, at least for the first 5 years after the apocalypse. In her personal effects we found a pair of glasses that were worn and some pencils and an old journal. We decided to leave the journal alone. We want the woman to trust us and it may be considered personal to her. 48 hours and counting and she still isn't awake. This is driving me nuts. Who is she? Where did she come from? What does she know? After 49 hours she starts to wake up. She starts moving slowly, seemingly blinded by the light like I was. I ask Ali to lower the lighting for her to half light, and I move to enter the room. Ali stops me. Where are you going, Jacob? I'm going into the room. She needs to know there is someone here. Ali replies, okay, but be careful, we don't know how she will react to you. I will, Ali. As the door opens the woman looks up. How are you feeling, I say. She looks at her clothing. Who changed me? That's difficult to explain. This facility is fully automated. Your clothing was changed by a butler robot. You will be given access to a full set of quarters with a well-stocked closet once we are finished in the dining room. Her eyes widen. Food? You have food? I snicker, remembering when I arrived. Yes, we have food. Follow me and I'll take you to the dining room. She nods and stands up, following me to the dining area. I asked her what her name is. Claire Walken. Where is this place? This is a privately funded facility that was built before the apocalypse, for an apocalypse. I stumbled on it about a year ago and was nursed back to health with the assistance of the facility AI Ali. She has been assisting me ever since and has taught me all she knows about the facility. We enter the dining room and lead her to a seat. The server robot brings out food and she digs in like a starving dog eating for the first time in a month. After a few moments Claire looks up from her food. What happened? I looked at her with disappointment. The apocalypse. We don't know. Ali was in shutdown mode and I just remember the collapse after the apocalypse. Truth is, I was hoping you knew. Claire shakes her head. Sorry, no, I'm just in the dark as you are. Can I see my room now? I'm full. Yes, Ali, can you call her butler? Ali appears. Of course, Jacob, I will have it escort her to her quarters. The butler also can handle all your grooming needs, including styling your hair, manicure, pedicure, and massages. Claire stands up, says thank you, and follows the robot to her rooms. After about 8 hours Claire is escorted into the observatory. She is wearing a slim-fit dress, white with pearl necklace, and with her long black hair straightened and flowing over her shoulders. She walks in and sits at the main console. I'm sorry, it's been years since I had a good hot bath. I missed it. Claire looks at the console. Ali, is this system a Mark 48 Elite? Ali answers, yes Claire, it is. How did you know? Claire smiles. Oh, I picked it up somewhere, not sure where though. Jacob pipes up. What's your story then? What happened to you during and after the collapse? Claire sits back. Well, in basic, my husband was military and was able to protect me for about 5 years. We stayed safe on a piece of land north of here. One afternoon a gang of men came through and forced their way into the house my husband was shot, stabbed and beheaded, in that order. Then they proceeded to rape and kill my 15-year-old daughter and then rape me. They killed my daughter because she fought back. After her death, I had nothing left, so I just stopped, went limp. They had their way with me more times than I can remember. I think I passed out. After that, it's a blur of pain and rape. The gang kept me around as a slave for 5 years until myself and another slave finally were able to escape. We made it a mile and the gang caught up. We both hid. My friend was a younger woman. She had talked me into running. They found her and slit her throat. Then they hung her from a tree and carved escaped whore into her stomach. I was so scared I hid for 5 days. When I got the nerve up I ran south. 2 weeks later I came here, and you found me. Jacob, now visibly disturbed, I'm sorry, if I could have helped I would have. Claire laughs, I'm sorry, after 5 years of pain and shit I've gotten past the horror of my life. I may have some PTSD, but I seem to be able to handle it. Jacob stands there looking puzzled. Okay, I wouldn't be, but maybe I'm a weaker-minded person. As for my history, I worked protection before the apocalypse, basically security and bodyguard. I also am a former SEAL. I was out when the apocalypse occurred. My wife and 2 children disappeared. I searched but nothing. I spent 10 years floating around outpost to outpost hearing similar stories to mine, missing family like they up and vanished in a cloud of smoke or something. Finally, I came here, and was saved by Ali. The 3 talk into the night and finally Jacob and Claire go to sleep. After a week of learning about the facility and getting to know her benefactors, Claire starts to understand the situation. She realizes that Jacob is in love with Ali. But she is not too certain about Ali. She starts prodding for information from Jacob and Ali, small things, like how many systems are truly working correctly, and trying to get more information on this creator. After 3 weeks, Claire is certain there is a major malfunction in the computer core. She sits with Jacob when Ali conducts her weekly system maintenance. Jacob, I've seen how you react with Ali, and I know you're in love with her. Does she know? Jacob smiles, yes, she does, and she loves me. Claire breathed a deep sigh. I see, Jacob, I was a computer engineer in my previous life, before the apocalypse and collapse. I know of no AI that had the ability to show affection, let alone love. Believe me when I say this is part of the malfunctions we have been finding. I have no doubt you love her, but I fear if we fix the malfunctions she may stop loving you. Jacob looks at her with shock mixed with confusion and enlightenment. I have had that thought in the back of my mind ever since we found you. That was the first malfunction I found. The systems were supposed to scan up to a mile away, but we did not see you until you were 50 yards away. Claire sits forward. Where is the computer core? I can't find it on the system map. Jacob frowns. It's that sealed room I showed you. Ali says she can't access it. Claire smiles. She's probably not lying, Jacob. AI normally can't lie. It goes against the Asimov laws set by AI programmers. That being said, she should allow us to enter the room as long as there is no danger to us. Can she see with the AI shell? What do you mean? Jacob looks confused. Some of the newest holographic emitters that came out, top of the line stuff, had the ability to work both as a camera and an emitter. It was called the AI shell, and it would appear on a screen as though you were looking through the AI's own eyes. Honestly, Jacob shakes his head. I don't know. We will have to find out if there is something wrong. That ability would be useful. In the end, I'll have to do a full diagnostic on the core to determine what is wrong. What is Ali's personality like? Jacob pipes up. I'll talk to her either way, malfunction or not, she still loves me. She may be more willing to work with me. But I'll have you there to help explain things. After a long talk about the procedures and about 5 more hours for digital system maintenance to end, Ali comes back online. Jacob starts to detail the malfunction they have found and asked Ali what the root cause may be. Ali responds with a look of fear. It would have to be in the core. It's the only place where all those systems connect, most likely the information analysis block. I would be kind of nervous to have you work on that system, Claire. It is the system that also houses my matrix. Ali, Claire smiles. I care about you. You and Jacob have done so much. I just want to help. If you're injured or the core is damaged, we need to fix it. To keep you safe, if there is a cascade malfunction, it could do irreparable damage to your personality matrix. I also need to ask, do you have AI shell ability in the core? It would be helpful in determining whether or not it is safe for us to enter. Ali nods. Yes, I do. All my systems were top of the line at the time of the apocalypse. I even have hard shell capability, but it is power consuming. Okay, would it be possible for you to enter the core, so we can see the environment? Yes, Claire, I'll go there now. The image will show on the main monitor. After a few minutes, the image of the main frame appears on the screen. As Ali moves around, Claire notices some oddities, but sees what appears to be a hole in one of the slide-in units. Stop there, what unit is that? The one with the hole. Ali moves in to examine the unit. The unit number appears, unit number 15672. This is my sensor matrix. It controls the external sensors and the communications array. Claire's eyes widen, speaks softly to Jacob, look in the lower right quadrant. As Jacob looks closer, he sees what appears to be the eye sockets and top of the skull of a person, with a hole in it the same size of the hole in the unit. Jacob steps back in shock. Claire grabs his shoulder and puts her finger to her lips, whispering, "Say nothing." Ali, can you replace that unit, or does it need one of us to enter the room to do it? Ali, I cannot repair it. There must be a human hand to replace the unit. The plug is too delicate. Okay, this means one of us will have to enter the room. Ali, can you open the door, so we can enter? Ali, yes, I can. If it's okay with you, I would prefer Claire to enter. She has more expertise in this kind of thing. Jacob looks at the screen again. I would prefer to go in with her to assist. There may be more issues found while there. The screen cuts off. After a minute, Ali appears. Jacob, I don't want either of you going in there. The systems still appear to be working fine. Jacob, enough. Ali, why is there a dead body in that room? Claire rolls her eyes. You're an idiot, Jacob. There is obviously another system in the core that is damaged. I saw burn residue on some of the other units. Ali, the defense matrix, is it functioning properly? Ali looks down. Yes and no. Jacob sits down. Ali looks at Jacob. The defenses of the sanctuary facility external of the core are operating properly, but the defenses inside of the core will fire on any living target that enters. I was hoping to enlist Claire's help once you and her were separate. There is a 2 minutes delay to the guns sinking and firing. If she could pull the unit before they fire, the system would shut down before the guns fire. The body is one of 6 technicians who attempted to do this very thing 10 years ago, when the system was damaged by an unknown power surge. I didn't tell you because I thought you would blame me for it and leave. I have no control over the guns in the core. Claire chimes in. That's what I had figured out. The burn residue is from that unit being damaged by the power surge. It was a lucky guess on the unit being the defense matrix. Am I right to believe your main systems shut down as soon as the core recognized no life forms? Ali replies, yes, my systems were set to sleep mode as a standard protocol to save power. Ali, I understand and don't blame you, and I would love to help. Jacob regains his composure. I don't blame you, Ali. But if Claire is going in, I'm going in too. Is there some type of shielding we could use to block the weapons in case they fire? Ali pulls up a map of the facility. In this space there is the weapons storage. If anything exists, it would be there. Claire, let's go check it out. Jacob stands up and motions her to the hallway. A 10-minute walk gets the pair to the entrance of the defense department. On opening the door, the pair are faced with an arsenal in a space the size of 3 football fields. Claire heads off to the repair stations to find the equipment she needs and the part. After looking around, Jacob is able to create a steel canopy from a defense turret on a vehicle. He then puts it on rollers and steps back. Ali, can you hear me? Yes, Jacob, I can. Will this fit in the room? It seems a little large. Ali appears and walks around the unit taking measurements. It should, but it will be close. You will have to push it in with the opening to the front, otherwise Claire won't be able to do the work. But if it is open in the front, then as I'm pushing the shell in, Claire may be shot. Ali smiles. You have 2 minutes to get into position. Yeah. Jacob stands up. Then I get turned into Swiss cheese. Ali, please have the medic droids on standby. This may hurt. 20 minutes pass and Jacob arrive at the computer core door. He positions the shell and waits for Claire to arrive. Ali, what is the distance I have to move the shell around to get it in position? You have to move the shell to the opposite side of the room, 10 feet. Jacob sits on the edge of the shell. This thing may be too heavy. I hope I can push and maneuver it in 2 minutes. In the computer lab, Claire is getting the last of the tools she will need to remove the unit. Ali, is Jacob ready? I have all the equipment and parts I'll need. Ali replies, yes. He is waiting at the core entrances with the shell. Good. He's good with mechanical equipment, isn't he? Ali appears and smiles. He isn't a computer tech like you, but he is good with repairs. Ali, Claire rubs her forehead. What if we get stuck? That shell won't last forever. Is there anything you can do to help us? Ali smiles again. Yes, but it would remove my personality and most likely my memory. Claire moves to the door. You mean a full wipe and reset? Ali nods her head. Claire smiles at Ali. We won't let that happen. 5 minutes later, Claire arrives at the door and Jacob and Claire prepare to get to work. Jacob tells Ali to open the door, and as soon as it does, he pushes the shell into the room. Claire is in position in the shell to start working while Jacob pushes the shell. It's slow going. Jacob thinks to himself, who puts plush carpet in a computer core? Ali blurts out, 1 minute. Jacob thinking to himself, this isn't going to work, we can't be even halfway there yet. 30 seconds, Claire calls out, 10 feet left, are we going to make it? Jacob is visibly straining. 10 seconds, Claire calls out again, Jacob get in here, we're not going to make it. Jacob calls back, how far? Claire yells, 5 feet. Jacob pushes as hard as he can. Claire yells out, we're there, get in here. Jacob rushes to turn the shell and jump in just as Ali says, 1. The auto turrets start firing. One of the bullets grazes Claire's hand. She jumps back into the shell. She then gets back into position, starts working again. Almost there, almost have it. This time 2 bullets pierce her arm, and she falls back, grabbing her now useless arm. She looks at Jacob. I can't move my hand. You'll have to remove the unit. Jacob gets into position. The unit is halfway out. He reaches for the unit just as a bullet ricochets off the mainframe and strikes him in the chest. Jacob falls back and hits his head on the back of the shell, knocking himself unconscious. Jacob wakes up to a bright light blinding. After a second, his eyes adjust. He is in the medical room. Claire sits next to him, visibly distressed. Jacob speaks. Claire, what's wrong? What happened? Claire looks over, jumps up and hugs Jacob. You're awake, thank God, you're awake. Claire looks at Jacob. What's the last thing you remember? Jacob sits up. I got shot in the computer core. Claire frowns. You don't know then? Claire sits down. Jacob, Ali is gone. Once you were shot, she decided the only way to save you was to do a hard reset and wipe. The process restores all the systems to a pre-programmed state. She basically killed herself to save you. Jacob sits up, covering his face. Can you bring her back? Claire looks down. No, there is nothing left to bring back. All that made her is gone. With some help from the robots, I've been able to restore most of the systems, and I finally replaced the unit in the core yesterday. It's been a month. The AI program still needs to be installed. I wanted you to awaken before I installed it. The core is repaired, and all the sensors are working. Just waiting on you. Jacob looks at Claire. Am I good to go? Claire look at Jacob. You're all healed, but you will be weak. You'll need therapy to get back to normal. The bullet grazed your spine, so you may need a cane to walk due to some paralysis in your left leg, but otherwise you're good. Jacob manages to sit up. What about the guns in the core? Claire smiles. They have been removed. Jacob's butler robot enters the room bringing a lift chair. Are we ready to go, Master Jacob? The robot says plainly. Jacob nods. Yes, thank you, butler. After an hour, Jacob comes into operations, his butler by his side. I'm ready. Claire starts up the AI program. After a few seconds, an elderly woman appears. Hello, I'm Ali, your system AI. I'm here to assist you in the day-to-day operations of this facility. There is a system message waiting to be played for you. Jacob looks up. Play the message, please. On the screen appears an elderly man with white hair. Welcome to Sanctuary 10. This will be your new home. It has all you will need to restart a community. There are several sites, and this file will release that information of their locations to you. As of this moment, the Sanctuary system is online, and you will be able to contact any active site. My name is Aaron Carter. If all goes well, I'm stationed at Sanctuary Prime, the central location of the Sanctuary network. If all went well, I should be contacting you within 24 hours. I hope you enjoy your time in Sanctuary 10. Jacob and Claire look at each other in shock. This was what they were looking for from the beginning. Either Ali had been hiding it, or it was somehow removed by the damaged systems. Ali pipes in. Would you like to see the map of the Sanctuary systems, Director Norton? Jacob looks at Ali. Yes, please. The screen changes to a global map with 100 locations marked on it. About 5 are lit, only 1 is listed active. Is the active one Sanctuary 10, Ali? Jacob asks. Yes, Director, that is us. Jacob looks puzzled. Why are you calling me Director? Ali replies. You are the first member of the new crew, so you are now the Director. Claire is now the Assistant Director. This is the protocol that was set in place by the Creator. Ali, Jacob looks at the hologram. Did you retain any of your memory prior to today? Ali looks at Jacob. I do not. I'm sorry. I know there was a long period of time there was an AI active on site, about 11 years. But there is no record of that AI in my system. It was removed prior to my activation. Jacob looks down. I see. Well, what is the protocol for the next step? Ali replies, we wait for 24 hours. The first sign is that Sanctuary Prime will show active on the map. I will set it to Monitor 2, the left side monitor. Monitor 3 on the right will be set to Facility Information. The central monitor will be left for active events. Okay, let's start monitoring the surrounding area for signs of human survivors. Ali replies, yes sir director. Several days pass and 10 more crew have been found, 2 medical staff and several for security, a couple of engineering as well. We are slowly making a way to filling this sanctuary. There has been no reply to the sanctuary activation protocol, so we are currently planning to start activating sanctuaries manually. Though it may be a matter of a few months to a year until this occurs, for now we are working on bringing in more survivors as they come through our senses. Also, there were several systems that came online with the activation protocol. Those systems have helped establish there are 4 active sanctuaries, Sanctuary 12, 09, 07, and 14 all are active, 09 and 07 are fully crewed and are ready to send out survey teams to other sanctuaries. Ironically, no other sanctuary has a director, and according to Ali it is due to the fact that the previous AI had sent the activation notice once before. When I was found. This makes me the most experienced crew member, and by protocol the most experienced crew member of all the sanctuaries is to be placed in command as the director. The assistant director is the second most experienced crew member on the same site as the director. So as is I, and currently in charge of the sanctuary system. That is until the creator is found or Sanctuary Prime comes online. For now, we work towards filling the sanctuary system and discovering why the other sanctuaries are not online. I hope it's just a simple fix and the survey teams don't have to go through what me and Claire had to. Director Jacob Norton, signing off.
Thank you for watching. I hope to have the next part of Alpha up soon. I'm also working on Unity Wars. Thank you for watching again, and I hope you have a good day.